Hello and welcome to the Reading Entertainment Podcast, episode 382 for January 8th, 2023. My name is Nathan Reed-Spruth. Joining me today, we have Andrew Rowe McFain.
It's me.
Yeah, we will have Connor here soon. He had to go run an errand real quick, but he will be back probably before the end of the podcast. We'll see what happens. See if he gets lost on his way home. So anyway, Aroa, where can we find you?
You can go to the Road website where there's stuff there. You can go to stuff.
Do you want to
Go on there.
Is there anything specific you want to point out?
I'd like to bring your attention to the specific link, Clayton's Core Classics, an actual play, Pathfinder play podcast, doing also Shadowrun.
Exactly. Thank you for your excellent impression of our good friend Connor. Of course, you can find me, Nathan Reed-Spruth, everywhere at Reeton. I'm on Twitch Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time to 9 p.m. Pacific time, and I also post these podcasts everywhere. So if you're listening on the website or if you're on YouTube or something, you can actually subscribe to the podcast on like Spotify or Amazon and just have them downloaded to your phone so you can enjoy us on your commute. Anyway, what games have you played this week?
Not a lot. I did play. There's a play test going on for a game called Sail Blazers.
Okay.
It's a shopkeeping RPG survival thing.
Racketeer.
It basically, yeah, kind of like that, but it controls and looks sort of like an anime-fied Fortnite.
Oh, okay. Can I just say how disappointed I am that they've never released a Racketeer 2?
I think those devs are dead.
That sucks. That's a very good game. How is the spiritual successor though? Is it good?
Yeah, it's it's all right. It's like it's rough. You can very much tell that it is still in early stages. Like there are some very noticeable bugs, like people still come into your shop whenever you're closed and will buy things even though you're closed.
At least they are buying stuff.
Yeah, the tutorial could use a little refining because it doesn't like tell you whether or not things have to go on a shelf or if you can just put them on the floor, and it's all very rough and unclear, but that's fine because like the survival aspects feel okay. The combat's not good. It feel it like it's trying to have this, I don't know, it's too slow.
Oh,
Feels like it should play or feel more like Fortnite, where you click and you swing your weapon, but it like wants to have this charge up thing going on, and like it's all very very early feeling, which is fine because like they haven't even put it on, like it's on Steam but only in the form that you can request to play test it. So like it's not ready at all yet, which is fine. I know the online functionality works well enough, which it like the thing that I think has the most potential about it is that it is 8-player cooperative by default, where you have like there are mobs out in the world, so you can do PvE stuff with other people, but then you can also do invasions, which I think is a neat idea.
Oh, nice.
So like your island can invade another island, so you have like normal multiplayer sort of skirmish scenarios. I think it's a really
That sounds weird. I would prefer. I know it's maybe it's weird to me, but I would prefer like if you could invade other people's shops and just steal their shit.
And like you can that,
Oh,
like
okay.
that's part of it, right? That like but it's like your team also exists in your own little island. It kind of feels like close to what they were trying to do with Fortnite Save the World, and maybe a little crossed with the uh, forward operating base mode in Phantom Pain.
Yeah,
Like,
wasn't Fortnite originally was the it wasn't the battle royale that we have right now. It was like a base defending
yeah,
mode.
it was like you played a survival mode sort of thing where you collected resources and then built up your essentially tower defense base and then defended it at night. And the battle royale mode completely eclipsed all of that,
Oh yeah.
unfortunately.
Oh yeah.
But like it kind of takes some inspiration from that, and like I said, from the forward operating base mode in Phantom Pain, which is where you have a base, but then like the solid snake from another dimension can come in and invade your base, and you have to defend it against that solid snake, or else they'll steal your resources and send them back into a wormhole to their reality. uh it was really goofy the way they framed it, but it's a cool concept, and like I'm excited to see where it goes. I hope that it actually pans out and that it's not it doesn't end up just kind of falling apart, which is a very real possibility with it being this rough.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very real possibility. Did you play any other games besides World of Warcraft?
Um, not to any real degree that is worth talking about, at least not that I can remember. So if I
Okay.
can't remember it, it didn't matter.
Exactly. We're going to move on. We're going to talk to Connor, who just showed up.
I was here the whole time, and you guys didn't even notice. Very, very tricky of me.
You
No,
were
that's
you were
that
here.
was.
I heard you mention Clinton's Core Classics earlier.
Oh, I have somebody mention that. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
A quick shout out to Aroa, who did a great job of pouring my podcast out for me while I was not here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Connor, what games have you played this week?
I've been playing a whole bunch of Halo: The Master Chief Collection. Me and my buddy Caleb, who people might know from the Trailblazers podcast, are doing Lasso with all the new skulls that they added. And I ain't never done a Lasso run before, so it's been fun. And by fun, I mean kind of
Not
stressful.
not really. I don't like putting on additional difficulty into a game. Like, all right, legendary mode's already difficult enough. Let's make it more difficult.
Well, it's great because sometimes our strategy is we're just going to get somewhere that they can't accurately hit us and let them blow themselves up with grenades. And it
Sometimes
takes
that
like
does work.
20 minutes, but man, do those grunts hate their own units.
The only
So
time
yeah,
the
go on.
only time I would consider doing a lasso run would be like there was that guy that offered a $10,000 bounty for beating it.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get any money for doing this, unfortunately.
That guy,
I don't know who it is.
how fucking dare you?
I don't. Aroa offered $10,000 of his own
No.
money.
Should we know who it is?
Should we?
It's critical.
I
It's Charlie.
I
God,
I don't watch his videos or anything, my friend.
why not?
I
You're
remember we
talking about
spoke
Moist
about
Critical, right?
Yes. We
I've-
spoke about it on the podcast.
I've never
Wait.
seen a video of theirs. Never. Not once.
That's so weird to me.
Why? It's fine. It's fine. Did you
'Cause he's like he's super cool. He's the best guy.
Well, that's good for him. I just haven't seen his videos. It's okay. Stuff
Fucking-
happens.
Plebeians.
You've never seen Casablanca. Anyway, we're gonna ask
Don't watch
Connor.
old shit.
Connor,
That's right. The question you asked me, what I've been playing? I've been playing Halo 3 with all sorts of skulls on. I've been
Good.
playing my Steam Deck like a whole bunch this week. I've been so busy at work, and it's like, okay, we got to upgrade Office, and it's an important person, so sit here and babysit it in case something happens. So I've been playing The Binding of Isaac, and I just picked up this game on Steam finally, but man, have I played the hell out of this game on Switch. And kind of knowing how everything works already means you could blow through it. for example, in this last week, I've played 6 hours and I've gotten 134 achievements.
Nice. Yeah, I've played a lot of Binding of Isaac in my time.
It's a good game, and it runs great on Steam Deck, just like it ran great on Switch. It's such a great portable game.
It is pretty great. I'm waiting for it to go on sale, like a good sale, so that I can buy it for my girlfriend because I know she likes that game too.
That is a good idea.
Yeah.
Speaking of great portable games, I've been playing Vampire Survivors, which I don't need to sing its laurels any more than it already has been. I picked
great.
up Halo Wars Definitive Edition, and it runs great on Steam Deck. I don't really know why I picked this up, other than that it was like $4 on a Steam sale. But it runs great on Steam Deck. I'll probably end up beating it, and it's even got mods. Maybe I'll play with those. I started playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe Edition. This is such a great game. Like, if somebody still hasn't played it, this is obviously the edition I'd recommend them. But it's such a good game. It's such an interesting, like, I can't compare it to anything else other than itself. It's unique.
It's good. It is an interesting game. I have not played the Ultra Deluxe version. I assume that they added a lot of stuff.
Oh, it's not even the same game.
Yeah.
It's not even close to the same game.
I figured. Did you play anything else, Connor?
Space Station 13. I think I mentioned this last week that I beat Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. That game is hard.
I don't think you mentioned that. I don't think you I know you mentioned like during my stream that you were playing it, but I don't think you actually beat it by then. What class did you play?
I was a sorcerer, and the whole idea was I approached that game. I was like, I either want to be a goody two shoes paladin who's here fighting demons, or I want to be like a demon infused demon who's like, this is where I fit in. I went with the latter. I was a sorcerer. And the whole game, I was wondering, like, did I, not do the right build? Maybe I should have done it differently, but I never rebuilt my character. What I later did is built a mercenary who was all these other builds that I thought I would be, and none of them were as great as my original build. So yay me for knowing this game I've been playing for over half my life now.
Yeah, I played that game on like normal mode, and it's crushingly difficult in some places. And I think that it must be like with Roll20, where the dice are never in your favor.
The amount of times I rolled below 10 in a row is just like soul crushingly sad.
Yeah, like Lan. Did you have Lan, or did you go with the other lady?
I went with Wendawag.
Yeah. I think they're both pretty similar. And like Lan had a really good attack bonus or whatever, and he would just always miss. Like he would have like plus like 40 and it'd just be like, nope, miss. Like, oh, okay, great.
It didn't take me much customization, but I got it all set up so I could see what, like, when it missed or hit, it'd tell me what they rolled versus what they needed.
Mm-hmm.
And so many times it'd be like, well, it needed to be a 20, I guess. I'll find something else to do with them.
Yeah, I did that as well. Still a good game. I enjoyed it.
Still a great game, but golly, does it put you through the grinder.
But before we move on, I want to ask you, does Space Station 13 run well on your Steam Deck?
You need to actually have Windows. You could host a Beyond client. That's actually the opposite of what I wanted to say. You could host a Beyond server on a Steam Deck, but you cannot run the client. That's Windows.
Oh, I mean, you could install it on a
just
card
run it
or something, but
well, no, just run it. It won't run through Proton. Like
it
at
is
all?
my understanding that it does. It is not compatible. I know I'm not the first person who's been curious about that. When I look on the Discord, it doesn't seem like it's compatible.
It might run. You might be able to get it running, but it would take a lot of tweaking.
It would be a huge pain in the ass, though, right? Because like it's not going to have controller bindings or anything.
That game requires extensive keyboard usage.
Yeah, it would be like trying to play Dwarf Fortress on Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Like,
so let's move on to me and talk about the games I played, and then we'll move on to the stories. Not that we have very many stories, because apparently during the holidays, not many news stories come out. Anyway, games I played this week. On Monday, I played Final Fantasy XI. Did that again. There is a private server I let you go on about Space Station 13, Connor. You should stop it.
You're actually the one who brought up Space Station 13 again. I kind of intentionally skipped it, which I only say because it's on the record.
So there's a private server that has just came out that goes back to the level 75 era of Final Fantasy 11. So I decided to play that, and playing that, I'm like, wow, new games are way faster to level up than in original Final Fantasy 11. Even Final Fantasy 11 retail is they've quadrupled the amount of experience points you get. So you level up way faster in retail rather than on this what's called Era Perfect or whatever progression server. And I'm the only reason I'm doing it is because I find myself sitting at my house with nothing to do, and I don't want to. I like playing through games on my stream, and so I was like, well, I don't want to just like load up the game I'm playing through and play that right now. And so I was like, I'll just do this. I'll try this Final Fantasy 11 new server that just came out, and it's pretty cool. I'm having fun with it. I also on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday started playing through a different game called. You might have heard of it. It's Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga.
Yeah, I might have heard of it.
Might have heard of
it once or twice.
And I know you 100%ed it.
I did.
I know I will not be doing that. Not even a little bit. I have played through episodes 1, 2, and 3 last week. I'll definitely be playing through episodes 4, 5, and 6 next week. And when I see big numbers, it's happened since I was a kid. When I was in like first grade, my teacher had like a packet of work that she would give us on Mondays. She'd come and she'd set the packet of work in front of us and be like, this is all of your work for this week that you have to get done. And I would look at the packet and then put it in my desk and not do it because I got overwhelmed with the amount of stuff to do. And so my mom eventually was like, hey, you need, like talking to the teacher, like, hey, you need to just give him one assignment at a time. And the teacher's like, but that's not what we do. And she's like, just give him one assignment at a time. And then after that, I started getting all my work done because I wasn't overwhelmed. I was able to do it just task by task. And same thing happened in Lego Star Wars, where I saw the number of upgrade items. There's 1,200 in the game.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, no, I'm not doing all that. I'm just going to beat the games. I'll be all right.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of time.
How do you play MMOs?
I don't
One mission
know.
at a time.
One mission at a time, basically, yeah. Yeah. Or like, yeah, like I'll collect a bunch of missions. I've gotten better at it over time. Like I don't need when I was in college, I didn't need my teachers to like hand me a specific assignment. Like, no. My math class already gave me.
Look, professor, can my mom talk to you? Can I have my mom talk to you?
So, I'll get a bunch of quests and then I'll be like, okay, let's say it's like kill spiders and kill boars and kill this one. I'll just do them, in order. I'll be like, okay, I'm going to go focus on killing these. And then also a lot of MMOs allow you to unselect like the quests on the side. So instead of having like 10 quests on the side, I could lower it so it'd be like, okay, this area has these quests and I'll do them and then I'll start tracking the other quests. So that's how I play MMOs. Or I just look at it and go, no, and then I just go kill bunnies for 3 hours. You know how it goes. But I still, the part of the reason why I went back to Final Fantasy 11 is like no other MMO, like there's no good MMOs coming out. New World sucked. I was kind of excited for that, and then I played it a little bit and it sucked. And Lost Ark sucked. And I'm not going to pay for WoW. Anyway.
No, you're not going to pay for Final Fantasy 14?
Or 14. Like I don't know. I subscribed to it for another couple months a while back, and was like, I just can't get back into it. I just can't do it. I don't know why.
I wish MMOs weren't waiting for bars to finish loading.
Yeah. Yeah. But then on Friday, I played some Overwatch, and I did pretty good. There's a clip I posted in the chat that I'm very proud of, because I got Mei. I was playing as Mei, and I killed a Junkrat. Then I killed the Mercy who was trying to resurrect the Junkrat. Unfortunately, she did get the raise before I was able to kill her, but I was able to kill her. And then I used Mei's ult to take out 2 other characters, killed the Junkrat again, and then I was sitting on the point capturing it, and the entire other team left. Because I killed the entire team, and they're just like, nope, and they all left. And somebody on the other team joined and was like, whoa, did the entire team leave? And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, that was my bad, actually. And that was play of the game at the end.
Sorry, I'm just so good at the game, you know.
I was like, I'm not that good at the game. I just got really lucky. And then at the end, I did a play of the game, and the person on the other team was like, hey, this is it. This is where everyone left. I'm like, yeah, it's great. So it was a fun night, but nobody watched me. I had like one person come in. Oh, it's so sad, because I was doing really well and nobody was there to watch. Anyway, let's move on to some news stories. Let's start with Connor's news story. I think it's Connor. Madden save files.
Oh, right. I forgot that I posted an article on this. I saw this and it got me a good chuckle, and I thought it would be a good thing to bring up on the podcast.
Okay.
Give me a
I
second.
love laughing at other people's misery.
Me
That's
too.
a little bit of what this is. This is an article that was posted from Ars Technica. Issue came out, and EA says that players should now be able to play their game without issue. However, it can't recover approximately 60% of corrupted franchise save files.
Oh,
So
no.
that's a little bit of an oopsie whoopsie.
How? What?
How?
How?
I don't actually know if the article says exactly why, but EA says that a temporary quote-unquote data storage issue led to the corruption of many Madden NFL 23 players' connected franchise mode save files last week. And what's worse, the company now estimates it can recover fewer than half of those corrupted files from a backup.
What is franchise mode?
That's like where you...
It's your fantasy football.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
positive, but it's like
It's-
your build a wrestle boy mode.
It's like the FIFA thing that everybody throws a bunch of money at to buy cards and shit.
Oh, so it's
I think it is, at least.
is it like GM mode?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically.
So where you like manage
Oh, right,
a football
right
team?
here. Since its introduction in 2013's Madden NFL 25, Connected Franchise Mode has let users control a single player, coach, or owner across online leagues with friends or strangers who are doing the same, and even change who they control mid-season. The mode has been popular for the decades since, with one Deadspin writer going so far as to say, if I can't play Connected Franchise Mode, I'm not playing their terrible game.
Which is fair.
This game is terrible, but I will play it if they have franchise mode, I guess.
That sounds like a really cool concept, honestly.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, I would if
It's
I
not
liked
something
football.
I would ever do. You're right.
Yeah.
That's a big prerequisite there.
I mean,
I don't.
go on.
I don't necessarily need to go through the rest of the article. EA basically told users, "Hey, it's safe to play now. A lot of you are gonna notice your saves are gone. Sucks, don't it?"
Oopsie, if only we had a backup of your save locally on your device.
If
You
only.
know?
No, you can't do that. People might like play offline or something like that. Then what do you do?
I mean, my thing is I don't really care. How many times have we lost our saves over the years and just continued on?
Man, I've
At
had
least,
some.
well, like usually that's my fault, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Or
Yeah,
it's your sister's fault.
Yeah,
Your
or like
twin sister.
my mom came in and updated my PS3 and then broke everything.
Yeah, you're like, no, mom, it was modded.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's actually what happened.
I figured. I figured that's what happened. It does say here at the end there was a time where in 2004 a PlayStation 2 holiday demo disc for Beautiful Joe 2 ended up erasing every save game on any memory card inserted into the system.
Okay, well in that case I probably like shit my pants.
I'd
So
be very sad.
yeah,
That would be
I'd
very
be a
sad.
little upsetty
that'd be a
spaghetti.
rage shit.
When I was, a teenager, I was playing Final Fantasy VIII, and we had some secondhand memory cards for my PlayStation. I had to save like 8 times just in the hope that one of those saves wasn't going to be corrupted. Like, it was a shoddy memory card. And we were very poor, so I couldn't be like, hey, Mom, can you spend $25 on a memory card? So, and yes, memory cards back in the day did cost like $25, and you got 1 megabyte of data? Less than that.
PS2 was 8 meg. PS1 was 1 megabit.
1 megabit. Yeah, 1 megabit. Yeah, for the
Yeah.
PS1.
You got
So,
you got like what 30 blocks, I think was how they formatted those.
yeah, it was awful. So, it could be worse. It really could be worse. You could have to save multiple times just in the hope that one of them wasn't corrupted. How many times, like if I waited like a week to play a game, like if I saved, 4 to 8 times of Final Fantasy VIII, and then I went to go play it like a week later, there was like a 20% chance that one of them wasn't corrupted. So I have restarted Final Fantasy VIII many, many times. It was not a fun experience. Anyway, we're going to move on
To be
to
fair, it's Final Fantasy VIII. It's not a fun experience, anyways. Heyo.
It's fine.
Whoa.
It's fine.
Wow.
I don't hate it as much as other people do. I mean, Final Fantasy 15 exists, so we have to grade on a curve, right? Anyway, let's move on to the next story. Not very much here, but apparently, Payday 3 will be releasing this year sometime. Within the next 12 months, Payday 3 will release unless it gets delayed. So, who here is excited for Payday 3?
Man,
Who,
I'm actually kind of mixed.
who here
Yeah.
wants to be excited for Payday 3?
I
guess
want
that's-
to be excited for Payday 3.
Yeah, it's just gonna really depend on like how it changes things and like is it good?
Yeah.
So there's 2 outcomes that I could foresee happening. And when I say they, I guess I mean like all the devs of Payday specifically, or Starbreeze. I'm not sure who necessarily between those two, like the publisher and the developer, are making these calls. But if this thing is just a farm saves game, it's gonna plop and it's gonna sink.
yeah.
Just, like dead on arrival. They're not
Yeah.
when they fucked up Payday 2 as bad as they did. If they do it again, this game is not going to get any traction when it lands.
Well,
And-
I can tell you the devs, the people who are making the game, are smart enough to know we're not going to, like, if we do what we did last time, we're boned. We just need to know if management's smart enough for that.
And
I
that's,
mean they link to an FAQ on the Payday 3 Steam page that was apparently posted a few days ago, and they do mention specifically the game runs in Unreal.
Yep,
that's a good first start.
we spoke about that. We spoke about that a while ago, where a long time ago. I forget which podcast, but we mentioned that they had come out and said that they're working on Unreal this time instead of making their own engine or utilizing their own engine.
which that alone is going to make a big difference in a lot of ways, because
Hmm.
it's going to mean that making content is going to be easier, modding the game is going to be easier. That I think will be significant. Um,
I
I hope that they don't essentially remake Payday 2 in Unreal and call it a day.
I am also curious what version of Unreal they're using. Because I imagine when they started working on it, they were working on Unreal Engine 4. Are they going to upgrade to Unreal Engine 5?
I'm sure that Epic has made it rather easy to migrate to 5. I don't know why they wouldn't.
The only thing is, from my limited experience and talking to some developers, when I was working at Sony, is that a lot of time, yes, you'll be working on like Unreal Engine 4, right, or Unreal Engine 3, and Unreal Engine 4 will come out, and anything that was designed specifically in Unreal Engine 3 should be pretty easy to upgrade. But I was like, I was asking them, I was like, oh, well, why can't we just upgrade to the newest version of Unreal? And they're like, we have so much, a lot of times what happens is we have so much custom code that
Yeah.
alters Unreal that custom code doesn't get changed or can't be upgraded easily. So then we have to go back and rewrite that code. So sometimes it's easier to just stay on the older version. And I wonder if
like
that's going to be part of it.
part of the license whenever you do a professional game, like not the independent developer license, but if you are a real publisher and you're licensing Unreal, you get access to the source code so that you can modify the engine however you want.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that is a thing. But I have little doubt that one, they're probably going to be doing as little custom tools making as they can, just so that they can pump the game out as quick as possible because the company's dying. But I also am just skeptical that Unreal 4 to 5 is going to be anywhere near as big of a hurdle as going from 3 to 4, because I know that I've heard and read a lot of things about how Unreal 3 going into 4 was like not
Oh,
even close to the same thing. Like Epic in and of itself wasn't very good at providing like documentation and shit to developers for 3, and like didn't support it very well, and it just overall was like an all right engine. And then like 4 was where they learned from everything that they did with 3, and that's why it might even be more popular than Unity at this point. Uh, at, at least outside of like the indie field, where indies just kind of want a drag and drop sort of thing, and so they go with Unity and a couple of asset
yeah.
bundles that let you let you kind of put assets in and assign logic to them that makes them run at the player. Like,
Yeah.
I just, and then at the end of the day, I don't think it's really going to matter all that much. I know that Unreal 5 does come with a lot of nice to have sort of things, but ultimately, the important thing is going to be whether or not the actual game design holds up. And I think kind of akin to what Connor was saying, if they just do another you're playing the same 5 levels over and over again sort of thing, then no, this franchise is hopeless.
Yeah, I'm
And
hoping it's good. I'm probably gonna I don't think I'll pre-order it, but I'll probably buy it near release time.
I'm
Especially if I
I'm
have
just
friends.
I'm gonna say right now, if they add a PvP mode, that would be enough.
For
Like
you.
that would be it. I think that would be that would completely overhaul the whole experience. Like, don't make it mandatory, of
Yeah.
course, but I think that either a like Left 4 Dead style PvP mode where like one side is playing as the cops, or like I actually wrote a post on the Payday Reddit a little while back, with like a zombie master, I think was the source mod, sort of mode where it's like the cop side is just one player, but they're essentially playing almost like an RTS
Oh,
to
like,
deploy officers and stuff.
is that like the director in Left 4 Dead? Isn't there a
The
like
director is an AI in Left 4 Dead.
right?
Yeah,
but
can't
you,
really play the
yeah,
director.
but you would
But
be,
you're
But yeah,
talking
it would
yeah.
be right. That is how the that is I think it's called Zombie Master. That is how that game worked back whenever that was a thing. There was a Resident Evil game. The one that came with 2
Out-
remake,
not
maybe 3
Outbreak,
remake.
right? I don't remember.
No, this was much more recent. It was an asymmetrical game where you had like 4 or 5 people who were trying to essentially get through a Resident Evil level, and then you had another person on the other side who was looking through cameras and like spawning special zombies and could take over the individual special zombies to attack the survivors. I really think something like that makes it so that each experience, like, that makes it so that the Payday crew players can't just sort of go through the motions. Like, you
Yeah.
need, I think, that human component on the police side to make it so that each experience is truly unique, because that's what kept Left 4 Dead 2, still keeps Left 4 Dead 2 alive, is the fact that you can have special infected that have strategies that are just beyond anything that an AI is going to come up with.
Yeah, a lot of people really do like the PvP mode. I think I've made my feelings pretty clear that I'm not a huge fan of PvP in Left 4 Dead or anything, but I just like for like Payday or Left 4 Dead, I just like playing through the game with my friends. Like, even if it's mindless and easy, I still like just doing that. I don't need that competitiveness in every single game I play.
If it's fun, it doesn't have
yeah.
to like
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not about being competitive necessarily, just that like that it makes it so that it isn't just a grind, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, but I like the option. I like having the option there. So if like I'm playing with you
Not to
guys and you're
mention
like, you want to do
asymmetrical
PvP?
multiplayer is like super popular right now.
It
it's
is.
so hot.
So we'll see what happens when it comes out. It says it'll launch in 2023 at some point on Steam and unspecified console platforms. And if you're listening to this and you're like, oh man, I'm going to buy that for my Xbox Series X, don't. Just buy it on PC, because if Payday 1 and Payday 2 have been any indication, they are going to drop support for consoles pretty freaking quickly.
Yep, PC or Nost.
Yeah, it's pretty bad on their part.
I would say that with them working on Unreal now, though, that maybe that won't be such a big problem, because
Hopefully.
I'm sure that a lot of why they couldn't support consoles was, one, because they didn't have the budget, obviously, but also that I'm sure trying to port shit over in the Diesel engine, which was already a big pile of ass, like I'm sure that only made things that much harder.
Yeah.
So maybe it won't be so bad, but I'm also not going to advocate for buying console games. I'm just not.
Right. Don't be like me, basically. Don't have a PS5 and an Xbox Series X. Don't do it. We're going to move on. We're going to talk about our last story. You guys remember Cyberpunk 2077, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day.
Yeah, it's
That's
pretty
a game that I 100%ed last year.
Yeah, didn't you play that on your Steam Deck too?
I also played it on I did play it a little bit on the Steam Deck. It's playable. When you have a 144 Hz monitor, that's definitely the preferred one. That could do that in RTX, like definitely do that one. But like when I'm playing D&D at my friend's house and it's not my turn, it could do it.
Yeah. You rolled a -1. Got it. Do. So
I have no idea what that thing you just did was.
I don't
am
know.
so confused.
How do you roll a -1? No dice can go -1.
Yes, you can. You can.
I
You
guess
can
maybe
get
if you like
if you
you
roll.
have a -2 modifier and you roll a 1.
That's what I
Oh
was
no,
gonna say.
I rolled an imaginary number on my dice.
I think we have rolled negative numbers when we were playing Pathfinder. Okay,
Yes,
Let's not.
but you
You're
don't
not
roll a
really
negative dice.
rolling the negative
Jeez.
number.
I understand what you're saying, but we're gonna move on, and we're gonna talk about Cyberpunk 2077 class action lawsuit that has been settled. It is stupid. It is a stupid class action lawsuit. This is from Destructoid. It says, blah blah blah. CD Projekt Red finalized an agreement to pay $1.85 million to settle a suit claiming that the studio misled investors regarding Cyberpunk 2077 state on consoles while not having to admit to actually doing anything wrong. So basically, they, CD Projekt
Typical
Red.
settlement.
Yeah, typical settlement. CD Projekt Red was like, "We're gonna give you money and not admit that there was any fault here." It reminds me when I got hit by a semi a few years ago, and the other insurance company was like, "We think it's both of your faults, so nobody is at fault here, and also we're gonna pay for everything." And I was like, "That sounds like it's your fault." And they're like, "No, we're not admitting fault, but we'll rent you a car for 2 weeks and pay the $8,000 to fix your car." And I was like, all right, whatever. So this is not the only Cyberpunk 2077 lawsuit that CD Projekt Red has had to contend with over the last couple years. So here's the thing, though. It's these investors, this isn't helping people who bought the game on the consoles. This
Nope.
this isn't giving them their money back. This is investors being like, we didn't make as much money as we wanted to, even though Cyberpunk 2077 made like over $100 million or something like that. Like they made lots and lots of money. I don't know how much money Cyberpunk 2077 makes, but let's see. Cyberpunk 2077.
I'll
How
be surprised
much
if you can. You're not
money
going to get like
did
accurate data.
it make? No, I'm not going to. Okay,
I
so
guess maybe from like investor calls, but be rather like the only way.
this was in 2022, and Cyberpunk. When did it release? 2021 or 2020?
2020.
That's okay. So they said in 2022, in September, it says the revenue come to 378 PLN, or about $81 million, and attributed that primarily to Cyberpunk 2077 and its console versions. So it did make a profit. I think that's just for 2021 though, because this article was posted in 2022. So I'm not sure how much money it made, but it made over $100 million. So
It depends if that's before or after the Edge Runners anime.
that's true. The Edge. Have you guys seen that? I hear it's really good.
I hear it's good. I haven't seen. I'm not a big anime guy. Like I don't have anything against it. It's just it's not my thing.
Yeah.
I don't care about it, honestly. I've heard good things, and the one character that everyone hates for being a lolly, I think is a cool looking character. But that's like it.
I only know
Okay.
about it because she's got a big old stupid Shadowrun tattoo on her belly.
So it says here.
There's a guy that I think it's the main character who get like there was like a clip I saw on TikTok or something where he just like major fist fucks a guy right in the fucking jaw. It's cool looking.
That's probably Adam Smasher.
So it says here that they made about $301 million net profit. So I don't think that's as much as they wanted to make.
I mean, that's the risk with investment, right? Like,
yeah, but that's still like, well, what I mean is CD Projekt Red, I think they were hoping that this would be like, $500 million or $1 billion game / game series. Like they definitely wanted more than just what they got. But it's not like they were
not like it was at release.
Yeah, and it was just not as profitable as they wanted it to be, even though it was very profitable. And so these investors are coming out and they're like, hey, we're going to sue you. And they got a $1.85 million settlement. That's none of it's going to the players, the people who are actually affected by it. You think these investors are not rolling in just like tons and tons of bags of money? It's dumb. It's dumb. I hate it. Anyway, it does say that they got a 70% revenue boost because of Cyberpunk Edgerunners. I guess Netflix paid them a lot of money for that.
No, it was a matter of the Cyberpunk anime was so popular that it directly drove people to go back and either buy or resume playing the game.
And they have done so many updates in the last 3 years that it's I would say that's worth it. Like the Cyberpunk 2077 when it came out and I played it on my PC was pretty okay. I didn't experience a lot of the bugs that a lot of people did. And they've ironed out a lot of the stability issues and optimizations and made it's playable on a Steam Deck. Maybe not, as playable as on Connor's new computer, but still it's really playable. And so it's like it should have been at release. If they would have released it in this state, I don't think that we would be talking about this because they would have had, actual good gameplay. I don't know about the console versions. I still think that the Xbox One and PS4 versions probably should have got canned.
They should have.
Like, they were just not powerful enough to run this game. Anywho, that's our stories. Those are our stories for this week. I want to thank you for being here, Aroa.
Oh,
yeah,
I do have an honorable mention.
You have an honorable mention?
Do you guys know what Dungeons and Dragons is, right?
No.
Yeah.
Can you explain it to me in extensive detail?
Okay, this is a fantasy game.
No, I
made by-
know. No, it's a game where a bunch of nerds get together in a circle and then they summon Satan in the basement, right?
Oh, like
yeah, I can't beat that. That's a good description.
oh, like Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So,
It's Stranger
you know
Things. Got it.
You know how this product survived for like 50 something, almost 60 years now, and like I always had this saying where something survives like that long and stays. I'm not gonna say popular, but like no, I guess popular is the right word. It's been a popular product this entire time.
Oh yeah, they're fucking everything up.
And they're fucking. Do you know how you get that status? Is you let people build onto it for you. It's the same thing that like the Elder Scrolls has done to stay popular.
Don't tell me they're getting rid of the open license.
That's exactly what's happening there.
Oh my fucking god.
Yep. And the internet's in a big old stiff about it.
So
how do you you decide to to retcon the term race out of the game, which like, okay, fine, I get it. You want to like be as PC as possible. And like, I'm not somebody who hates on being PC, but like feel like that's just like trying too hard to pander.
But
on top of it, now you're going to shit on your customers.
Let's back up here. Some people who are listening to this might not know what Connor is talking about. Like they might not know what the why you're getting upset about the open license being gone. So can you explain to people who might not know what this entails?
I would be happy to. The open game license, which I think for the rest of the time on for the end of this, I'm going to refer to as the OGL, is the reason why things like your old favorite Wizard magazine from the 70s, or for a more modern reference, Pathfinder, for example, can exist. It took this basic rule set that Dungeons and Dragons was able to create, and it said, hey, you want to expand in our world? Go ahead. You could even publish it as long as it follows the terms of this agreement. And everyone in the world... Yeah, go on.
So you're talking about like the Know Your Role WWE D20 game.
There's a good chance if it's based off the most likely 3.5 or 4.0 or what, like if it's based off one of the editions of D&D, it very well might be under the OGL.
Yeah.
And what D&D is saying is nope, no more of that. If you want to play a module, it's our module. And they're making this system called One D&D that now's not the time to get into that part, but they're trying to basically I think a lot of people are worried that this is going to retroactively make a lot of products unavailable, and that's not how a
I
license
don't.
works.
No, that's
No.
impossible.
Yeah,
There was
I
someone
yeah,
there,
it's
there was a discussion I was having where somebody was pretty adamant that this was going to quote unquote ruin everything, and it's not going to change anything. It's going to make a lot of people mad at Hasbro / Wizards of the Coast, but it's not going to change anything.
well, it's not going to change anything immediately. There could be a like I know that they're getting rid of that license. So what if does the license expire at some point? So when you grab that license, is it good for 10 years, 20 years? Or is
That's not. I don't think that's really how it works. I think it's more akin to like the Creative Commons license.
okay.
Yes, I assume it's for the life of the publish. Like if you
Yeah,
got it before it was changed, you got it.
Okay.
the key thing here is going to be, does that retroactively affect previous editions of D&D? I don't think it should. Obviously, I'm not a lawyer, but I would imagine that this is going to start with whatever the next edition of D&D is, maybe even the current one. I don't know.
Is it 5 or is
Which
it 6 right now? It's 5, right?
They're on 5. They're moving forward. They're calling it One D&D, which is they're doing the same thing Microsoft did. It's dumb. Again, now is not the time to talk about that. Though I'll bring this up again in a later podcast.
I can't wait to watch my TV on Dungeons and Dragons. But
well, yeah,
It's funny because I play Dungeons and Dragons on a TV usually. Like
But-
we have one flipped 90 degrees. Anyway,
I don't obviously I'm not a fan of this. I don't know exactly what it's going to entail. We're not lawyers, but you're probably correct in so far as like anything that was previously made will continue to be able to be made and sold, but they won't be able to make any more modules for it. Possibly.
probably not for 6th edition.
Yeah.
Is going to be my guess. I would have to look into it more, but I would bet that starting with D&D 1 or whatever you want to call it, but at this point, any future modifications, any future games based on the D&D rule set will likely have to be based on 5th edition on back,
Yeah.
or do what most smart people are probably going to do and just base their games off Pathfinder.
that's
Yeah.
probably what's going to happen is Pathfinder 2nd Edition is going to get a whole lot more popular. But I think you are incorrect in that they're getting rid of the OGL. So that means no more new content can be made referencing it. They want to
I-
lock down their IP, which is
I would wonder though.
if that's legal. Yeah, that's
well,
going to be where lawyers
yeah.
are going to talk about it in a room.
Yeah, because I would
Yeah.
I would wonder. It depends on like how that works, because if the game itself is licensed under that OGL, they can't retroactively revoke that license.
Mhm.
But
They
yeah, I
could
guess it just
probably prevent
They-
any new licenses.
yeah,
from coming
no,
out with it, though.
So I'm
yeah, they would, it would be a matter of like, so maybe you wouldn't be able to make a game that is directly like references the intellectual property involved in the game, but you would be able to, I would think,
Well-
build games off of that rule set.
I wonder if it is similar to what happened with Friday the 13th,
Yeah, I
Where-
would wonder that too.
where
I-
in that game, in case you're wondering what I'm talking about, is they had the games released, then there was a huge legal dispute, and basically they said the lawyer said you can keep selling the game, you can keep the servers on, you can provide security updates, but you cannot add any new content. And I wonder if that's going to be how it goes going forward with Dungeons and Dragons. So like if I have a module that I've created or know my role or know your role, the WWE wrestling D20 game, I can't add anything new to that. Like I can't come out with like an expansion or like a new bestiary or anything. I don't know. So
I have one unfortunate update, by the way, which I know Reeton's gonna hate. You know that game Knights of the Old Republic?
That was done under the OGL, wasn't it?
That's under OGL, baby.
Well-
Oh,
Which means Disney has just entered the chat. See,
Yeah.
they might want to keep their OGL if that's something that uses their property. Or they could scrap it and they could rewrite it all in Unreal 5 or whatever. But that is
well,
a genuine thing to think about.
I bet what happens there is that Disney just goes, okay, what do we pay you so that we can continue making this? Or, well, they do that and then they go, okay, how much money is this game going to make, and is that going to be worth it?
Well, and
if
I
it's
don't.
not, then they can it.
Well,
or
remember
they rewrite the rule set.
Remember for Knights of the Old Republic, the remaster that they're making, I doubt that they are using.
Yeah, it's probably
that.
it's going to be like a real time RPG thing.
It's
You're
yeah,
probably
it's going to
right.
be. It's not going to be like Knights of the Old Republic was on the original Xbox and PC. They're not
Yeah,
using
it's-
D&D rule set.
It's going to be like Dragon Age 2 or something like that.
It'll be more like Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, it
I'd
probably.
play that.
You hate to
I'd
hear
play
it,
the shit
but-
out of that.
Yeah, that's
Well, as long
I
as it's
would-
not like Kingdom Hearts 3. Don't make it like Kingdom
No,
Hearts 3.
it would be like Kingdom Hearts 3.
yeah.
Oh, so it's just like you
Exactly.
press attack 3 times and then press triangle and watch a cutscene until all the enemies die.
Yeah.
Yes, it would be Soul Calibur 6.
But yeah, so that sucks. But you're probably
I just
correct.
figured
It's-
that I should bring that up. I'm kind of our resident table jockey here.
yeah,
And,
So related to that, what about like, do you think that affects like mods to like old games like Neverwinter Nights and stuff?
Yep, it was made under OGL.
I'm just like does that mean that like, is it Wizards of the Coast? Do they own that? Is that
yes.
them?
Yeah, that's
yes,
Wizards
that is
of the
Wizards
Coast.
of the Coast. So that is their own property there. Like I imagine, if you're
Well, I'm
not
just saying,
like
like,
publishing it, like if you're making a mod
Yeah.
for free, you're probably good. But if
Well,
it's something you're
You
doing for
say
profit,
that, you say that, but look at
it's-
what's
it's
happened
true.
with Warhammer fan projects. Like,
War-
Warhammer swings the banhammer particularly hard because they hate their own fan base, I guess. But yes, you're right. I guess I shouldn't say you're safe because you really aren't.
You're never safe. Not with
Because-
giant
Not with lawyers.
monolithic corporations.
Not when you have companies like Nintendo and whoever does Warhammer, I don't know. Like, as long as those companies are around, you're not safe. Like, you
Gameforge?
have to have
Games Workshop.
Yeah, Games Workshop.
Games Workshop. That's it. You have to have companies like Sega, because Sega, mind you, has come out and publicly said, "Go ahead and make your weird fucking fan shit. We don't care. You're cool."
Just stop. Please stop mailing it in. Our mailroom is just full of OC Sonics.
we gave you the fucking game where you could play as your OC. Please, just stop.
And you're like, we want more. And Roa just keeps. He's like, I've spent so much on postage this year.
Why do I have to play as Sonic in Sonic Frontiers? I want to play as Blonic.
Listen, we had to hire someone full time to take these envelopes and printouts of Sonic OCs and incinerate them. And it's currently powering 60% of Osaka.
But yes, so that sucks. They're probably going to move on to Pathfinder. Either Pathfinder 1 or 2. I'm not sure if 2's taking off. I have
One
no
is
idea.
the OGL, so 2 is the one to survive out of this. But
Oh,
I already
right.
got everything I want from Pathfinder, so haha, sure you are.
And then we'll see if people start going with the D6 system or GURPS. Isn't GURPS a thing?
Yeah, GURPS is going
GURPS.
to come back.
I mean, you joke, but it potentially could.
I'm
Hey,
not joking.
That's what Fallout 1 and 2 are based on, and those games are great.
No, it's not.
Or
It's not.
It is not
They're
based on GURPS. It was supposed to be based on GURPS. The license holder decided at the last minute that, hey, this is way too fucking violent. We don't want our system represented with this. And so the Fallout devs created the special system.
Oh,
Yeah.
it resembles but is legally distinct from.
I see.
Yeah. So GURPS might make a comeback. or people will just start using the special system. We'll see what happens.
I have a little bit of a best case scenario where everyone's like, well, I want to play tabletop games with my friends. Why don't I pick up an army of Warhammer, huh?
Nah. All you need is $3,000 and lots of time to paint your minis.
That friend of mine who I've been playing Halo with, I know that he's like he's into one of the factions specifically. They're called the Tau. They're kind of like the space mech army.
How do you
Are-
get into the Well, I guess they got didn't they get buffed recently?
They
they,
got
like,
a
cool
big
enough?
they're doing pretty damn well actually.
Yeah.
But he just knew he liked the army that had like the space mechs in it. Somehow he learned a whole about that, but like nothing else about the world. So
I
I keep
like
on
that.
being like, hey, we should play a tabletop simulator.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
and I think we're at
tabletop.
the point where we should close out the podcast.
Probably.
Yeah, we're just kind of we're doing the like three guys who started a podcast in the basement sort of thing now. We're just talking.
Yeah,
just-
we're doing that.
Having fun with the boys.
Anyway, I want to thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Aroa.
Yeah.
And thank you, the Marty Jannetty of the team, Connor.
I was here and on time, and I don't know what Marty Jannetty is.
I don't know what the fuck that means.
And we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
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 I hope I shouldn't be offended.